I feel like sometimes I do really good and sometimes I do really bad.
Hmm.
It's like
Alright.
it's not consistent.
Well then, yeah, the drill here, I'll just, take a look for a minute, see what I'm working with, and then I'll start
All
talking when
right.
I see something.
Here it comes. Heroes never die.
Alright, nice audio awareness, though we gotta be careful of that turret bomb. Whenever we have a Symmetra on the enemy team, we're always changing how we're playing just slightly, right? Any character we're playing up against, we're changing how we're approaching the game. So
Mhm.
against Symmetras, we want to watch out for those turret bomb TPs, where she just, TPs a bunch of turrets through, so that we're not getting caught out by it.
Don't waste my time. Smoke 'em out of there.
Nice shot.
I need healing. Fire in the hole. Smoke 'em out of there. Never. Bless your heart. Somebody get me some healing. I'm being attacked.
Alright, nothing much happening yet.
Fire in the hole.
Uh-oh.
Alright, Dynamite's seeming like they need a bit of work on them.
Here it comes. I'm ready to initiate self-destruct sequence.
Alright, we're gonna talk about some Dynamites after this game's done, and how we
Alrighty.
can look to use those better.
Much better. Heroes never die. That's better.
Alright, keep in mind you have a pretty good distance. You don't need to necessarily run at the TP if you're trying to destroy it. Also, we had some awareness issues where the Symmetra is kind of standing there in our backline for a little while, and we didn't really notice she was there until she started shooting at us, right? So we just want to make sure we're keeping our audio awareness up and listening for shots, listening for footsteps, and making sure we're paying attention, because she was on our screen for a good like 5-10 seconds.
Thank you. I need healing.
Will only hurt for a minute.
Here it comes.
Take your medicine.
Okay, there we kind of found ourselves out of position. Make sure that we're not getting too close to them, but we're trying to keep a healthy distance because we are like kind of a mid-range character, so we don't want to be
Mhm.
on top of point or on top of them, unless point's really far away from them.
Oh, I see.
All right, so
Alright.
last time, just as a refresher for me and for you, right, we went over main points were positioning as number one, then mechanics, then awareness, then ult usage on McCree, and then ability usage came on Hanzo, and then it swapped around, then it was ability usage on McCree, and then ult usage on Hanzo is number 5. So that's kind of the thing that we were working with last time. So far, I'm still seeing that kind of same trend. Ult usage, I only saw one ult there. Ult usage wasn't terrible. Ability usage does need a little bit of work here, but we'll talk about that. And then positioning, mechanics, and awareness still seeming like they need a bit of work,
Mhm.
and being still up there. So we'll continue on those notes.
Fire in the hole.
Very nice.
We still need you.
Come at the king.
Here it comes. Let me get you covered. Point me in the right direction.
Okay, here we're kind of staying in the fight a little bit too long when we didn't have our team. So there we make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings and we're backing up when we don't have our team, right? If it's just us and Mercy versus 6 people, we're not going to be able to win that fight. And we're most likely going to die. If that was a better team, we would have died. So just make sure you're not staying in there when you don't have your team with you. So that comes in on a kind of an awareness note.
You're going to.
Heroes never die.
Just point me in the right direction. Double kill. Thanks.
Oh, I can't go on that top there. No.
No, you can go into the window, you can't go into the wall.
Oh, okay.
So right there where the teleporter's at, that's where you can stand. Right,
Oh.
there we kind of found ourselves in some poor positioning again. Right, remember, good positioning is the usage of cover, not the absence of cover. And then on top of that, we are again getting too close. Like if Reinhardt's able to swing on us, that you were a little bit too close, right? So
Yeah.
there we maybe should have been a little bit further back to start off the fight rather than so close to them. And then that means that we are much safer and we're able to stay alive longer.
Somebody get me some healing.
Oh no. Yeah, I should have paid attention to that board.
Yeah, exactly, right? Make sure
Yeah.
we're just always keeping an eye out for her, listening for her, like kind of, because she's going to do that over and over and over and over again, right? So we just got to get used to it, make sure we're reacting to it a bit faster, because if we can react to it faster, we've killed her a couple times just because we've been paid attention to it, right?
That's true.
Bob, do something.
Yeah, good Bob placement, but keep in mind that you did hold on to him for 2 fights, so just be careful that you're not holding on to him. That way you could have maybe had a second Bob by then, right? We could have won an additional fight. We could have, or not lost the fight that we just lost last fight, right? So
That's
just,
true.
more ults is usually going to be better. So, don't look to hold on to your ult. Try to use them as often as possible.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
Now who's the better shot?
Oh,
At least it was a little bit faster reaction that time, right? You're able to walk away from it faster. All right. Mechanics seem like they started to. Was this your first game on for the day?
oh yeah. This is my like second or third game. I did some warm
Okay.
up first. Yeah.
Alrighty. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and leave and go to practice range here, and then I'm gonna stream for you.
Alrighty.
Alright, so we were on Ashe there. So, here we're going to go over some Dynamite stuff. So first off, just with Dynamite, make sure that we're adding an arc to it. As many times here, we're just kind of tossing it straight forwards like this. And you'll notice that when you just toss it straight forwards, it's just going to hit the floor pretty fast because it does require an arc. So the further away you're trying to throw it, the higher and higher we're trying to aim. And most of the times we're trying to put it up in the air anyways. So for example, this gets us around shields. So if we have a shield on a character that maybe reaches like yay high, right, something like that, we want to get it above the shield so it can go like over top of it. That way we can get it over the shield and still hit them with it. So we would throw it upwards so that we can get it over the shield and still get it to connect, right?
Yeah.
Now, Besides that, the other thing is just make sure we're trying to get it over shields, right? Because we weren't necessarily trying to do that, and then sometimes they just kind of bounce off shields. A lot of the times they just go too, like I probably say most of the time they just ended up going too short because we wouldn't give it an arc. And then besides that, just make sure you're not exploding it too early. Make sure we're kind of watching it and waiting for it to kind of correctly get next to them. If we're detonating it too early, then it's not going to do anything. So those were kind of three of the things that kept messing up our dynamites.
Yeah.
Was, you know, not going far enough, detonating it too early, and not going above shields, and then that resulted in a lot of our dynamites not getting very much value. But besides that, you know, it wasn't the worst. And then coach gun usage didn't. I think we had good value out of that. One thing I would say as well is that it seems like with our tap clicking, we're tap clicking very, very slowly. So, you know, on Ashe you can't hold down the button. I'm holding down the button right now and it just doesn't shoot. So you have to tap click, but you can tap click pretty fast. Like if I just spam the button here, I can just shoot pretty fast here. But what you're doing is it seems like we're kind of going at a much slower pace where we're going shoot, 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 right? Versus if we were doing this at a faster pace, we go shoot, 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 right? Shoot. Like just basically anytime we can see somebody, right? We're just like kind of spamming the button, but you know, we're just kind of shooting at a slower rate. And just keep in mind that the slower you're shooting, the slower you're killing, and the slower you're killing, the more time you have for them to get away, to get healing, to use shields, to use movement abilities, right? So you're giving them a lot. Basically, killing things faster is always going to be better. That's why headshots are better than body shots. That's why you always want to have a faster kill rate and fire rate. That's why, like, on McCree, when they nerfed his fire rate, that's a nerf, not like a neutral or a buff, right? It's a nerf because the slower you're shooting, the less you're doing. So just try to get used to shooting at a faster pacing, because a lot of times it's just looking a bit slow. Also keep in mind that you do, whenever you hit a headshot, you can follow it up with a body shot, like either one or two, like you can follow it up with a headshot, but, or you can follow it up with a 2 body shots, unscoped, right? So that's just something to keep in mind when it comes to shooting. You don't necessarily have to do 2 headshots, so that's, especially when you're closer range. Your left click's gonna come out usually when something's really close to you, or they're low, and then you can follow up with it at even like at a far range like that, right? Because the first shot's always gonna be straight, I believe. All right. And then besides that, with the positioning, we were just close a lot of the times. That was a big thing. Keep in mind that you are a mid-range character, so here, you know, the further and further away you're getting, you know, we didn't have too much of a problem with playing too far, but, you know, sometimes we might. Here, the further away you're getting, the more fall off you're doing, so we're doing, that took like 6 shots there, right? Whereas if we're getting a lot closer, now we're doing 1, 2, 3 shots, right?
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure we're sticking within this range. If we get too close, then there's a lot of other characters that just benefit from being closer than us. Reaper, Mei, Ryan, Zarya, right? Yada yada, so forth. There's a ton of different characters that just benefit from being close range more than you do. So just make sure we're sticking at a medium range, right? Besides that, I think that is pretty much it. And then we talk about the rest in game, so you can look to go ahead and get into another game here.
Alrighty. If I go to browse, can you still see? Like,
I do not believe so. It won't. I don't think it's gonna give me the option to spectate. Actually, wait. No, never mind. Wait, are you in a? You're in your own custom game?
No, yeah, my own custom game. This is the one that you sent me. Like I've been practicing on it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, like I've got like, well, my Hanzo like got worse because I practiced a lot of like what's it called? Hit characters. It's like
hit scan characters.
Hit scan, yeah, hit scan, yeah. But like I think my McCree got a bit better. And like in games I do better headshots, but like you know like this is like if I just want to go like body, like this is. Like this thing really helped me like with my game. I feel like I've missed way less.
You saying which one do you miss less in?
Oh, now I miss less with like McCree and Ashe,
But on
and
Hanzo a little
also
bit more.
on Hanzo. Yeah, Hanzo is like Hanzo. I'm gonna show you actually 1 second. I
So
don't know.
is it
Hanzo.
just because you haven't been practicing them very much?
I feel like it's just like for some reason like you see like these ones like
Redemption.
I don't know like exactly like
Yeah, you kind of have to work on the projectile speed because you can't look directly at people because when they're moving pretty fast, you have to look ahead of them, right? So
yeah.
that's how projectiles work. We just need to be aiming ahead of people and getting used to that.
Never second best.
This one is like yeah. I got like when especially like these ones because it shows me like how they move and everything. It's this one I suck at it. But hit scan because
Yeah, in general, Hanzo's just weaker against fast-moving targets, which those are fast-moving targets. So that's just a general thing. Is Hanzo's worse against that? But at the same time, that is going to be good practice for if like you're trying to go up against a fast-moving target such as Tracer, right? It's going to give you practice at trying to hit those shots and prediction shots.
and one more thing I realized like when it goes like this, this one is like it's harder for me to track for some reason. It's like
And then if you're going left,
yeah, if it's just like obviously like yeah on the I think actually yeah on the left side I think it's easier for me than right. I just don't know like how to like kind of like get better at that.
yeah, well, that's going to come from practice.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to be like when it comes to a lot of mechanics besides crosshair placement and making sure you're focusing on it. It's not necessarily something that comes from a intellectual standpoint. So
Yeah.
in the way that, for example, positioning is pretty intellectual, where you're thinking about where am I standing. Mechanics a lot of the times is going to come from muscle memory and teaching your body, this is how we're shooting, right? All right, so I'm spectating you once again.
Yeah, they took Ashe, so
If
pretty unlucky. I guess I'm gonna do like my worst. Alright.
Round one. Capture the objective.
See through the wolf.
Oh, that was too far, I think. No.
Let's get you back out there.
and make sure you're not half charging your shots. Very nice.
Uh-oh.
I'm seeing a lot of half charge shots so far. Make sure we're getting out of that habit, right?
My aim is true.
Okay, pay attention to where your team's at because we're kind of pushing in aggressively when we don't have them, and then that staggers us right there, right?
Yeah.
We staggered, and then that means that we go back. So that's been a big thing, has been awareness, as that's led to a few different mistakes where we've gone in with our team. So pay attention to where is my team positioned.
See through the wolf's.
Right, we have our ult again, right? We're thinking about how we're using it, we're not holding on to it.
It's
Heroes never die.
Lock on my target.
breaks. The wolf marks his prey.
Here it comes.
Marked.
make sure we're keeping good crosshair placement, as a lot of our shots here are aiming slightly below head level. Right, so we're kind of aiming at chests, and we also have to remember that the further away you're getting, you're also having aim slightly above their head, as well as there is an arc on it.
Through the wolf's eyes.
Stream engaged. Heroes never die.
Very nice.
The wolf awakens. See that which is unseen. Its hand.
Very nice. And instead of the half charge shot, probably follow up with a storm arrow, right? That way it's getting there faster, and it's not a very slow projectile, which could give him time to get off his ult.
I'm taking care of you.
Alright, so make sure you're paying attention to our ultimates, as whenever I'm not mentioning it, right, we seem to kind of go back to forgetting about it. So we just want to make sure we're not holding on to that thing, right, but we're using it, often. It's pretty much, like we said last time, anytime a fight is not banned, won or lost, we're using our ult, right? So we just don't want to be holding on to it, as we have a couple times. Other than that, really good ability usage, no problems there. And then I think besides that, just a couple of the same things. We're having, I think positioning, we didn't have any positional problems. We had some awareness problems, and then mechanics, we just want to make sure we're not half charging our shots, and we also make sure we're aiming head level, right?
Alrighty.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
The wolf marks his prey. The wolf stirs within me.
Like here, if you're finding these shots hard, we can always just get closer by moving up to like the top right high ground, for example. Like we just climb up there, or something like that. That way we just get a closer range, angle, get around shields if we wanted to, instead of just spamming them down the whole time.
Perfect.
Very nice.
The wolf stirs within me.
Like here, instead of we can just spam down shields, so we could also like go top right to get around there. We could push closer to get around it. Right? Keep in mind, Hanzo is also a mid-range character. He doesn't enjoy staying at a super long range, and there we were kind of playing it at a long range.
I'll try to run away from that.
Yep. Alternatively, maybe something that because we never want to, get away from a pulse bomb by running into their team, right? So maybe alternative would have been to jump a different direction, maybe towards the tracer, or even we could have climbed up the wall, right? Which would have given us vertical distance instead of horizontal. So that way we're not running into their team, right? Okay, just half charge, like 6 more shots there, 7 more shots. So we just want to make sure we're not doing that, because they're not going to be able to kill anything. It's only going to do half damage, and it's going to be an unpredictable projectile, because the speed's always going to be different. Fully charging your shots is going to mean that you're getting one-shot potential, as well as the speed's always going to be consistent. It gives you more time to line up your shots, rather than just kind of firing them out like one by one by one. So it's kind of like the opposite of Ashe, whereas, Ashe is shooting all the time, Hanzo is shooting a little bit less frequently, right? You're still doing it as much as possible, but you're not going to sacrifice damage for speed in this case. Ashe, you don't have to sacrifice damage for speed. Hanzo, you do if you're just half charging them.
Where's the good high ground out here? It's good, right?
This is a little bit too far away, right? You could go like top right. You could go even on the top left. There's some spots where you can stand like you can stand up. Yeah, you like go directly up there.
Oh no,
Oh.
it doesn't. Oh. Ah. Nope.
Probably have to climb up the side of it.
See through the wolf's eyes.
Get in there, Bob.
Yeah, really good dragon. Massive. That's a perfect place to be using it because it's a tiny little corridor where they have no place to run. Just want to get aggressive when we see that we're winning, right? We don't have to play passive in any sense because we're at such a massive advantage on our team.
Oh no!
Unless we get shattered.
Yeah, unless we get shattered. Oh, that's a good res.
Alright, so just a lot of the same repetitive mistakes, so you know, half charging shots. If you need, do you have your show accuracy on for your crosshair?
Oh, maybe I should do that actually.
Yeah, that might help you get used. You can definitely turn that off once you get used to it and you get into a good habit of it. But when you're trying to get into a good habit of getting used to when it's fully charged, showing accuracy and like, which will show you when it's fully charged, is going to be a pretty good way to do that.
So I should make it the circle then?
You could make it the circle, but you could also do the same thing with crosshairs as well. What crosshair do you currently have?
I was using dot.
Using dot. All right. Yeah. So you can do it with crosshairs. You can do potentially like a dot with a circle. I think would work as well. You could do, and then the circle would close in onto the dot, if that makes sense. So you could do.
How does it like? I've seen people do that. That like they basically make it disappear.
Yeah. So let me check in the crosshairs here if I can find how you do that. So circle dot occupancy center gap. All right, so we could do something like this and then show accuracy. All right, so let me just see if this works real quick in the training range, and then I'm sharing my I'm already sharing my screen.
Oh, can we do it with the crosshair?
Yeah, you can do it with the crosshair. Yep. But you can also do it with dots. So like here, for example. Oh no, it doesn't show it. Oh, because it's custom on Hanzo here. 1 second.
Redemption.
Okay, we'll just put this back on crosshairs. Show accuracy off. Okay. So we'll go to Hanzo specifically here. We're gonna change it to circle. We're gonna make it so that you can see the dot with dot occupancy, opacity, and then we turn on show accuracy. Right, and then now you see it closes in.
Okay, so what was the setting again? 1 second. So
Yep.
go to make it a circle, and then you said, let me see. Sorry, pass dot size. Okay, let's see. Okay, so if this is your dot size is okay. All right, let me try it out. Let me see if it works. Quick play.
All right, you probably.
Isn't it gonna be bad for my what's it called, storm arrow though? Is it gonna like mess that up by any chance?
No, when you storm arrow, it just closes in. See.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go to practice mode.
They fall before
Yeah.
me.
So if you're watching my stream, when you storm arrow, it just is automatically a circle.
Okay. All right.
So you can make the you make the circle however big you want. Really. You also get sound effects when it's fully, and you can see it on the bottom of your screen when it's fully drawn back. But it kind of we're usually like half charging it.
Finds its mark.
You can see the bottom on the screen.
Yep, on the bottom of your screen when you see the bow, he draws it back, like physically, like you can see it. So you can see when it's fully drawn back and it stops moving, right? But a lot of times we're kind of doing it like this, where we're not even fully drawing it back, right?
All right.
Right.
Alrighty, that's good stuff. Yeah.
All right, so then yeah, you can just go ahead and get into a queue. So yeah, the other things in that game besides that, I'm just gonna change my crosshair back here. Yeah, so the other thing in that game besides that was just making sure aiming head level, making sure, we're not holding on to our ults. Besides that, ability usage seemed pretty solid. I think positioning we still need to work on a little bit. So keep in mind on Hanzo that you're going to let me know when you get in a game, by the way.
I'm in a queue right now.
Yep. All right. So yeah, on Hanzo, keep in mind that across McCree, Hanzo, Ashe, right? You're all keeping the same distance, right? The only
Mhm.
character I'd probably say is getting a little bit further away is Widowmaker, right? Widowmaker can
Yeah.
play at any distance, but Hanzo, right? You don't want to. We talked. I think we're pretty sure we talked about this last time, right?
Yeah.
Where you don't want to stick at these long ranges because he just doesn't have a scope. The shot, even though he can one shot, the shots are just going to be harder. So this is kind of like on well there, where we were
Mhm.
just kind of sitting back on our side of the well, and we were sitting really, really far away from them, and that just meant we were hitting only shields, and we were shooting from super far away. So we just want to make sure we're getting a little bit towards the medium range, as well as the fact that we talk about last time off angling, right?
Yeah, yeah. As in
Yeah.
using the right angle to shoot. Is it? Sorry.
No,
Oh,
off angling being positioning yourself on not the main angle.
oh yeah.
The dragon.
I think so. I'm really bad with the names. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So, do you remember what maybe what the purpose of that was?
Uh, are we saying that like we angle ourselves in a
All right.
like?
So if our team is
Also,
standing here, right,
yeah,
and the enemy team's standing there, this is
yeah,
the main angle. An off
yeah.
angle would be if we went like this, right? And now we're over
Oh,
here.
okay.
What would be the
Oh, I
purpose of
see.
that?
Oh, because we can get around shield and like also like it's harder for them to notice us, so we can maybe like take out some support and
Yep.
yeah.
And then thirdly, you just also get a crossfire effect so that it's splitting their attention, right? So yep, exactly, you got them right. We didn't do that too much. We just a lot of times sat on the main angle, so make sure we're just
Mhm.
trying to apply that to our gameplay, and we're
True.
trying to take off angles whenever they're an option. So for example, the off angles that we could take would be just going left side and not standing on top of our team, or we
Mhm.
could have gone top right and taken the high ground, or we could have taken top left high ground. But instead, we just kind of sat bottom left low or bottom right low ground, right? The
Mhm.
pretty much the entire game there.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure that we're not just sitting there whole time when we have other options. Now we can sit there if there aren't those options, but the options are gonna be there a lot of the time. So you just want to look out for them.
Alrighty.
All right.
Sounds pretty good.
So yeah, okay. So you're still in queue.
What's the max damage for the headshot for Hanzo?
That's a
So
good question. I can test it out on Hog here real quick. I think maybe like three,
250.
yeah, something like that. It's like I think on like Widowmaker it was like 300 or something like that, but then it got nerfed. I'm never good with numbers, man. I always just
Alright, let's
okay.
see.
So
I think for Hug
yeah,
is
it's like it looks like yeah, like you said, like 250 or something like that. So if we two shot, yeah, he still has enough health. And then what's a character that? Oh, okay, this is like yeah. Actually, no. It's not even 250. It's even less. Wait, no. Let's see.
240 probably
Wait, so
maybe.
250 times 2 would be
500.
500. So then you would have 100 HP left. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah. So we'd have 100 HP left. What's a cooldown that does 100 HP exactly? It would be like Wrecking Ball. Oh no, I I swapped him to swapped him to Wrecking Ball, not myself. But yeah, that seems about right. 250 max. So with Storm
And
Arrow doing less than that.
so what's like some heroes have like the blue health bar on them.
They fall before
Blue
you,
health
but
bar,
not
yeah.
after it.
Yeah, what is that? Like is like what
So blue health bar is shield health. Let's find the character. So Zenyatta has shield health. That means that when we take damage, that's going to regenerate when we're outside of when we're outside of a fight. Oh, what happened? My crosshair went away on Zenyatta. So look at this. Look, I took damage. After some time, it's gonna regenerate.
Oh, that's
Right?
pretty sick.
But if I take damage past that point, it's not going to regenerate the regular health, right? So if we just sit here and take some damage while I'm fixing my crosshair, what the heck happened to my crosshair on Zen?
What happened to your crosshair?
Yeah. All right, so now we took some extra damage past that point, so we're gonna regenerate, but it's not gonna regenerate to full now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know
Why
what,
this queue is taking so long?
cause DPS, man.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
All right, because
Oh, I think I forgot to use my I have some priority pass, not many, but
all right, yeah, I got it back.
I think like one of my biggest like problems too, like as you said, is like retreating. You know, when I lose the fight, and
Yep.
I'm still not used to like looking at the HUD that like shows me like my
Yeah, the kill
teammate.
feed. You know, the
Yeah,
top
yeah.
right. You have like you have three big indicators of your team, right? You and even like you could even go on and on and on this list, but you have the kill feed to tell you when they're dead. You have the tab that shows when they're dead. You have you know, your visual awareness of your surroundings. Of you can see where is my team positioned, which is probably going to be a pretty massive one for you. I'd probably say it's just, you know, where's my team at, right? Which is a really important thing to keep tabs on. You also have things like audio awareness of like, you know, do we hear any of our
Mhm.
teammates shooting? Do we see any of our teammates shooting? Right? Do we, you know, there's a lot of things that can go into that can give us awareness. It's just paying attention to any of them and seeing, oh snap, I don't have a team. Therefore, let's back up, right? Or let's just die because that's something that happened like 2 or 3 times so far, right? Where
Mhm.
we just didn't see when that happened. So I'd probably say a big one to just get used to is like watching kill feed as well, because that's going to dictate, you know, when we're playing aggressive, when we're playing passive. So for example, when we got some picks on that like last fight of the last map we were on, right, we kind
Mhm.
of played a little bit passive after we got like 2 people and our whole team was pushed forward. So you know, it's
Mhm.
just an example where like, you know, you just push forwards to get the kills when your team's getting aggressive and they're down a bunch of people. So you know, it was a quick reminder, right? Watching kill feed, 1 to 2 people is a advantage or a disadvantage. You play aggressive or passive based off of that. 2 to 3 people is a won or lost fight. I don't think you have a problem with ulting in won or lost fights, but you do have a problem with staying in them. So make sure that
Mhm.
when you've won a fight that you're playing super aggressive to get staggers and get kills, and then when you've lost a fight that you're backing out if possible, and if it's not, then you are dying so that you don't end up staggering yourself, which we've done a couple times.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I saw like these pros just jump in the water, like when they like lose a fight, it's just like they all just jump in the water.
Say that one more time. I think I missed it.
I see like some pro games and everything. They just like jump in the
Yeah.
water.
Yep. They'll jump off the map. Yep. That way you're not like, if you know you can't get out and you're gonna die anyways, that kills you as fast as possible while also not giving them ult charge.
Wow, that's it's like next level.
Tactical suicide.
Yeah, tactical suicide. Well, too bad you can't do it in real life because you don't respawn. Imagine you could just respawn and then whatever. um, alrighty.
If you just respawn, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, purpose, you know, it's like, okay. It's just like you get at like your friend, mad at your friend, just kill them because he's gonna respawn. Um, um, man, this queue. Right,
Yeah.
I'm
Where
gonna
are you
do
at now? Like 8 minutes?
nine minutes
Oh
and 30
jeez.
seconds. Let me see like how many. I want to see like how many more thing I got. I can't even see now. All right. So since it's gonna take a lot of time. Oh, there we go. We got in the game. Should I go Hanzo or Ashe for this one?
Whichever one you want to go over. I think
Mm,
Ashe, it looked from like the first glance that you need a little bit more work on your Ashe than your Hanzo. Your
mhm.
Hanzo's looking a lot more solid with your ability usage, with your ult usage, and you know, just in general like mechanics. Whereas Ashe, we're struggling a little bit more in some different areas here. So that's just kind of, if you're asking me to like kind of rank where at least those 2 games that I saw individually.
All right, perfect. Makes it easier for me.
What did I do to my stinking crosshairs? Now they look all weird.
Sorry for that, bro.
What? Okay, I put my center gap on 30. Yeah, that would explain it. All right, there we go. It's fixed.
Alrighty. So I see like people Is it? I feel like is it advantageous to like do my like first dynamite there so I can get as much ult like
Yep,
charge as I can.
exactly. Yep. And you can do that pretty much on most maps.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Besides like controls, of course.
I get the idea.
Oh oh.
Yep. There you might want to try and throw it in between the two doors, that way you can get people
Hmm.
on both sides, right?
I'm
Kind of
calling
center it.
shots.
Watch your health, request healing, yep. Make sure you're kind of peeking the edge so they can actually heal you though, right?
Yeah.
I need
I don't think we have any healy. I don't know if we have any healers right now. Just came down.
Reload anytime you're not shooting at something.
Oh, I fucked up that one. Sorry.
Yep, just concentrate on allowing your dynamites, as it's a pretty important ability that's going to get you a lot of ult charge and do a whole lot of damage in groups, so just make sure focusing on landing that. A little too early.
Oh, yeah, too
Alright,
early on
just
that
let
one.
it go in a little bit further.
Oh.
Look straight, yep, look straight down, or if you're even trying to go diagonally, you can turn around and look and kind of look diagonally, right?
Helden sterben nicht.
patched up.
Oh, I staggered a lot there.
Heroes never die.
Alright, when something's right next to you, right, that's where we just do unscoped shots, right? That way we're not basically the main purpose of that is so that we're not moving super slowly and making it super easy for them to headshot us, right? When we're scoping in, we have a 50% movement reduction, and that
Mm.
makes us a super easy target to headshot and kill. So just unscope, kind of crouch spam, you know, make it hard for them to hit us while you're just hitting them in the head, right? Watch the kill feed, right? Pay attention to it. We're down a bunch of people right now, so we can just back up, take high ground, right? But even when we're on the high ground here, we're going to want to play a little bit passive.
I'm with you. I get the idea. You should be at peak performance levels.
Yeah,
Oh,
here,
it's too early.
we have our ultimate, so we don't want to spam too much. That's just going to give them some ult charge, unless we know we're trying to get a kill, right? But other than that, the fight's nowhere near starting when we were throwing in that dynamite, for example. Now that the fight's starting, now we can go for damage. Okay, with our Bob placement, we're trying to get Bob to go behind them most of the time. So try to do your best to make that happen. There, we kind of that means a lot of times as well that if he's about to hit something, we might not even want that to happen, as that puts him in front of their whole team, right? And that means it makes it super easy to back up. We'll talk about why you want to do it afterwards, right? We'll just go into the training range and do that. And whenever we get our coach gun back, probably just make it back up to high ground. Probably top left one would probably be the best, as that's
Top left one.
it's closest to them. It's it has cover usage. That top right one has no cover. You just die.
How can I go up there? Oh, oh shit!
Top one, both of them have elevators as well as you have your coach gun, right?
Oh, I think somebody went up there. It's kind of like.
Heroes never die.
Smoke 'em out of there.
Right now we want to be backing up, right? Regrouping. We could even, like right now, we could rotate to the right side, high ground, right? Very nice kill. Here we can just take this high ground right above us.
Oh, ah! Oh.
Make sure we're just looking straight down, right? That we're going straight up, not backwards.
Helden sterben nicht.
Try to get this time.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, their positioning probably would have been best if you're like on the top right, like on top of the saloon there. That would have been the best place to start off, and that would have been a good place to rotate, like in between the fight, right? Because you always want to do like longer rotations in between fights. Okay, do we have our team with us?
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
And good cover usage, though again, it's maybe not the best positioning where like we could be on a high ground, for example. Okay, pretty good bob placement and timing, I like it.
Like Newton and rats I've attacked.
So like here, maybe we want to get back like on the high ground behind us, right, like up there. You can even, if you wanted to, just as a meme spot, look top left real quick. You can stand on top. Oh nope, turn around. You can stand on top of that those things,
This
right?
one?
Yeah,
Oh
both
wow, I
of
didn't
them are
know
pretty
that.
good.
I get the idea.
So both of the moons. Actually, I don't know. I know it's the back moon. I actually don't know about this moon that's closer to you.
Yeah, Tracer behind.
Never die.
Just watch the Hanzo, right? He's gonna be trying to snipe you. Very nice. Very nice. Good job on scoping when she was like right next to you. What maybe would have been the purpose of dropping there?
Oh, that's scary. Ah, I couldn't do anything there. I don't know. It's like.
Yeah, I probably would just said it'd be a good idea to stay up on the high ground, right? That way we have a lot of times we're not on high grounds as often as I would like us to be when there's a ton of high grounds on this map. So look to just take them whenever they're an option, because a lot of times we end up sitting on the low ground a lot, and that's just gonna make a better positioning. Good job sticking next to cover though. That is something that we're doing a lot of the times now. But besides that, we need to take more off angles, more high grounds. And remember, high grounds all act as off angles.
He didn't want to shoot me. He was shooting the Ana behind me. I just like went into his crosshair. I just looked at the kill. Such bullshit, man. All right.
My ultimate is
So like even here when we're coming back from spawn, we could even go high ground, right? That'd just be an option. Very nice shot. Mechanics looking a lot more solid than last time. So I can definitely tell that there's a lot of work put in there.
activating self-destruct sequence. Game on.
Let me get you patched up.
Enemy in my sights.
Very nice.
Observe the barrier.
Nothing really happening so far.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Heroes never die.
Bless your heart.
Get them off me.
Oh man. How come? Oh.
Good awareness.
Sterben nicht.
Alright. Bob coming out a little bit late there, right? Make
Oh.
sure we're ulting earlier in the fight, right? We bobbed when we had 2 people left alive, right? So,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, so that was also Bob in a lost fight, so make sure we're paying attention to when we won or lost, so that we're not ulting when we lost the fight, and then we want to ult early, because when we ult early, that's where they get the most value, right? And that means we don't end up losing before we get a chance to use it.
Rocket barrage incoming.
Oh.
Alright, so there seemed like we were panicking slightly, right?
Yeah.
Just hear the right? Just make sure we're listening out for the tracer, and then besides that, like we could even probably come out like left side if you wanted, just to take the high ground, right, instead of just sitting in the back here. That way you can get a safer position.
Like high ground here?
No, high ground top left.
Oh, top left.
There.
Right.
Yep. That way you're coming at them from kind of the side angle where no one can really get to you, so you get to just sit there and shoot for free, right?
10 seconds.
keep in mind, you have a coach gun, so you can make it up there anytime you want to, right? Like, I just had a moment's notice. Probably rotate over.
Dein Schutzengel ist da. Heroes never die.
That was.
Self-destruct sequence.
Oh, we won.
Alright. Good round. So I'll probably say the big thing that round is just a lot of positioning stuff. So
Yeah.
mechanically we did pretty solid. We honestly a lot better. I think I also noticed that we were firing faster, so I think you already improved just slightly on that end. So just not holding on to it as much. We just kind of shoot. Then on top of that, I was noticing awareness still is a little bit big thing that need to be worked on. Probably gonna put awareness as like the #1 thing for this time. As it's resulted in especially like kill feed and paying attention to our team and the enemy team has just resulted in a lot of different mistakes and whatnot. Do you want to do like one more game of this, or would you like to just do the wrap up now and then get into the play time?
It's up to you. You decide which one is like better.
All right. Well then, why don't we? Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do another one then.
All right, I'm gonna use my priority pass this time.
All right. Yeah, it's just quick play, so it should only be like 10-minute game max.
Ready. So I know like not necessarily I think I'm good or something, but like usually like when I like queue and comp, but sometimes like it's just like I get like really bad teammates as well. What can I do to like make up for that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
So bad teammates are gonna happen, right? They're just gonna happen frequently, and I'm not gonna water it down, but you will lose games because of bad teammates. But your goal is to essentially increase the range of effect that you have. So basically, like, for the average player, right? This is kind of like a quote from like I think Jane, if I remember, I don't remember necessarily who it's from, but basically, 1/3 of your games you're going to lose no matter what because your team's just that bad. 1/3 of your games you're going to win no matter what because your team's just that good, and 1/3 of your games you are going to have an impact on. Right now, your goal is to improve. Like, you're never going to be able to change anything about your team, right? They're always going to, you're the only consistent variable. Your team's always going to be changing from game to game to game. So if you're trying to win more, you need to improve on yourself and think about what can I do better. And therefore, when you get better, you increase your range of effect. So now maybe instead of 1/3, it's 2/3 of the games you have an impact on. That's how, for example, people in like super high ranks have such a high win percentages because they have increased their range of effects. So like if you, just queued for comp on accident. I was trying to like go to leaderboards. So like for example, like you think of like you probably know some like high level support players. Like let's take ML7 for example.
Yeah.
Right? If you like look at ML7, why is he on European servers or American servers? So, I guess he's not in top 10 right now. Wherever he's at, right? But you get what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at ML7, he probably has like an 80% win rate on the hero because he just has such a wide range of effect to where he's so good that it's not okay. Here's ML8, right?
Oh, is it the Ana player?
Yep.
Yeah, like I think I saw some of like he's just like doesn't miss a shot. He just doesn't miss a shot.
Right, doesn't even look like he plays Ana much on that account, man. All right, so I don't know. Maybe it's like let's go to season 25.
I hope this game doesn't die when I just started playing it.
Yeah.
There's Overwatch 2 coming out, right?
Yep. But hopefully the game doesn't die by that point. All right, so looking at his win rate, 56 win rate on Ana for the season, right? Baptiste, right? He has a 48. Okay, well, fantastic. It's even lower. My point's not standing here. Right, Zenyatta 59, right? Mercy 8. Right, 52. It looks like it's lower. Okay, I guess let's take #1 player. I actually know this player. Ultraviolet. He's on Zen, right? To get to the #1 spot, he has a 55. Dude, how do you get to that spot at such a low win rate?
I
Baptiste,
think because like they're just so
60%.
high now.
Yeah,
They're probably like at a so high of a like level now that like
right. But in any case, you know, when you get better on your own, you're making it so that you are having an impact on the games that are lost no matter what. Like you start to chip away at that, where the games that you're going to lose no matter what, you start to have an impact in. You're
True.
essentially expanding the range of effect that you have. And maybe if I were to edit that, I would probably say that it's more like 1/4 of the time you're going to win no matter what, 2/3 of the time you're going to lose no matter what, and then 1/4 of the time you have an impact on, or like a, and that's going to be like how you usually, you lose half your games, you win half your games, right?
Mhm.
On average, and then how you get better and improve is you start to chip away at the 50% until you start to have more of an impact by doing more. So yeah, hopefully Overwatch doesn't die. I hope it doesn't die too, but hopefully Overwatch 2 will bring a boost to the player base.
Yeah,
But
that'd be nice.
that's not coming for a while. Hopefully though that they release, for example, one thing that they could do is release in the meantime is go free to play with Overwatch 1.
Mhm.
And then that could boost the player population, which is going to, affect a lot of different things, like, more people equals more money, which equals more production and development, right?
5, 4, 3,
Here it comes.
1. Attackers incoming.
Oh, that nothing happened.
Stop the payload.
Very nice. Good dynamites as well. I didn't mention that as well, but the dynamites are already looking better now. We're actually looking for them and not messing them up in the 3 ways we talked about before all the time.
Here it comes.
Very nice.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I should have gone back for sure.
Yeah, exactly, right. Back up a little bit faster. You have a coach gun to do that. In that instance, if you both are staring at each other and he has the Zen, like, you basically don't take duels where you know that you have a disadvantage. So, for example, when it's a 2v1, you have Zen and McCree versus you. That's a disadvantage. So don't take that duel. Instead, we go nope and we back out, right? But if we have the advantage, then we force the duel, right? We definitely want to go in. Or if you are even, then you can chance it, right? Because you can just rely on your ability to win it, right? But you don't never want to take duels where you know that you have the disadvantage.
Here, I can't really go high ground because of this guy.
Yep.
Here it comes.
Oh, I thought I got it.
Then once he drops as well, then you can maybe try it again.
Oh, I think he's gonna get the bob with the high noon. Yeah.
This is not your time. Hallelujah. Your body decays.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, slightly slow to back out.
Yeah.
And then if you don't think that you can make it out, just look to let them kill you, right? Because there we just end up staggering, and then we get all the way bad spawn.
You're getting on my nerves.
I don't think I should.
Most of the time it's going to be better idea to just come out the high ground. That way you have the high ground already, and you don't need to do anything to get there. Alright, why give up a free high ground when you can just take it very easily.
Here's
Didn't notice when the Moira was right in our face, and just make sure you're paying attention, right?
Into the iris.
Oh, that's a bit too late.
Alright, I kind of want to hammer high grounds and off angles in your head, because
Yeah.
that's the big thing when it comes to positioning. I think we've got a firm grasp on knowing how to use cover. Right? That cover usage is definitely something we've gotten a lot better with, but we want to make sure that we're taking high grounds, taking off angles, right? Like, so for example here, right, we want to walk out right side so we can just walk to the high ground without you needing to use coach gun, right?
This one here, right?
Yep.
Enemy seen.
Activating the barrier.
Into position.
And now that we're on the high ground, we can be thinking, what characters can get up to us up here?
Let me handle it.
Fire in the hole.
Never mind.
This will heal you.
Oh, just
I require assistance.
And make sure you're just being ready for the monkey to dive you, because he's the only character on their team that can instantly get up to you. So we just have to be prepared for him. Okay, a little too early. Make sure you're reloading when you're not shooting at anything. As well as Bob is coming out a little bit slow in that fight. Alright, but now
now
that's
it's too late, right?
yeah, now it's too late. Right, but we could have used him potentially, right? And then that way we wouldn't have lost. Here we could throw up Bob the stall point, right? It's not necessarily lost because we have a very close spawn here, so Bob can stall point while we give our team time to recontest. Alright, now we have like 5 people here.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Slightly slow, but it's still
Yeah.
reacting, so still good, still getting better, right? It's a process.
Help me. We still need you.
Just keep in mind that that's another like a thing that you can use Bob for, is to stall point. Now you don't want to do that like all the time, but in that instance, that was a good time to stall point because you didn't have your whole team there, but Bob's contesting point gave your team time to group up, right? It gave them time to recontest. So that turned a lost fight into a won fight because we ended up stalling and giving our team time. There we could just like flat out push her. She went underneath you, not right. She's where your Moira is at.
Smoke them out of there.
ah!
Yep, just a little bit too early again, right? It's especially the longer range ones that we're struggling with, like when it comes to kind of the detonation time. So make sure we're just paying attention to when is it going to connect with them.
Heroes never die. Fire in the hole.
Surrender to my will. Огонь по готовности.
This is not
Wow, that was something.
into position.
I admire your efficacy.
And now we can be pushing forward, so we're a little bit far back here. We want to be getting those stagger kills because they still have people alive, right? Like these guys up there.
Help me.
Very nice.
To learn the rules.
This will heal you. My will made real.
Oh, look to grab the health pack. Pay attention to the orb. Right, we just kind of walked into it there, right? So just
I still don't know where the health packs are, which is
Oh.
not good.
yep, up there on the high ground. This is like the only health pack I've ever seen on a high ground. I just realized that. There's a health pack in that little
The spaceship.
spaceship. Yep, exactly. Usually health packs are going to be in off rooms, and most of the time they're going to be on low grounds. But that's actually one of the only ones I know of.
Ah!
It's
Oh.
time.
High ground, careful, high ground.
So that's my bad. Sorry, I was talking there.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No, it wasn't.
So,
It wasn't
no.
your fault.
Can't really blame you on the awareness if I'm cluttering up your ears.
Nah. It's better than like not knowing anything.
Fire in the hole.
Incoming.
10 seconds remaining.
It's in.
Oh nope. It doesn't go over. Sorry, but actually,
It's all good. They have to go to point anyways, so it catches them no matter what.
Oh, unintentionally became like the best like ult of my life.
Oh no, I think the other one was you know, pretty nuts. All right, so that was a good game. All right, just again, just a lot of things that we improved on, but there's still a few things. Like specifically, we're going to put like positioning and awareness as the bigger ones to work on here. Now we're just gonna go and do the wrap up here. You know, all that jazz, in the training range. So we played Hanzo and Ashe mainly. So
My business?
Oh, I
We-
got played of the game.
oh nice.
Wee.
Double kill.
Just wait for you to be done that.
Double
Don't mess with an original.
Just let me know when you're there.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
So should I like leave game?
Yeah,
Leave game.
double
Alrighty.
All right.
Yeah.
So, basically ability usage. We're struggling with dynamites, but we're doing a lot better now. Though I still would say like it's just a thing that we need to work on slightly, right? Just slightly. But I'm still that's probably going to go on the bottom. So you know, just make sure we're focusing on your dynamites. We talked about all the things that you can do to work on them. You know, make sure with your coach gun that you know when you're trying to go straight up, you're either looking straight down. If you're looking diagonally, you're going to go backwards, right? We can look straight down, or we could even, if we're trying to go diagonally, we can look kind of backwards at an angle, right? And that's going to send us up at a diagonal angle. That could even get us there faster sometimes. If we're trying to get straight height, we look straight down. If we're trying to go like diagonally fast, we can just go like this, right? That gets us up diagonally. But then, you know, try to get your dynamites around shields, try to give it a little bit of an arc, which you did a lot better with. Make sure you're not detonating it too. I think that one's still one that we need to work on, is not detonating it too early, as we're still detonating it a little bit early. Bobs, we want to talk about why we want to put it behind them, right? So, you know, if our team's standing on the main angle, right, like this, they're all on point, we want to send Bob to where he's sitting like here or there, right? That way, Bob does the same thing that we do when we're on off angle. He creates a crossfire effect, right? So now they go, do we turn around and look at Bob, or do we look at the team? If too many of them turn around and look at Bob, our team rolls them over on the front line. If too little of them turn around and look at Bob, then Bob just gets free reign and shoots them in the back, right? So this gets him around shields. This means that he is a distraction, and it splits their attention, and that puts less pressure on our team and less pressure on Bob. Now, if we do this exact same scenario, but we just place Bob just in the middle here or in the front, like let's say we just put him into this wall here, then Bob's not getting nearly as much value because he has to shoot in the shields. He's not creating a crossfire effect, right? He's, you know, not making, like, they can just shoot him for free, and they can also just back away from him super easily, right? That's the other thing, is that, like, you know, if we place Bob here, they can just run around the corner. They could, you know, just back up and run around any of these pillars, right? But if we place Bob behind them, then they have a lot less places to run to get away from Bob, right? So that's just all things to pay attention to with Bob placement. Besides that, just make sure you're not holding on to your ults, as sometimes you were doing that, and then make sure you're not ulting in won or lost fights, and then we're using them early in fights. And then besides that, you know, ults weren't too terrible, and especially like with how we use them. But we just want to, there's a bunch of tiny things that added up. Now, mechanics, make sure that we're keeping head level crosshair placement on all our characters here. Make sure that we are, you know, we did a lot better with this on Ashe, right? Just make sure we're doing our full fire rate here, right? Instead of just tap firing. On Hanzo, make sure we're not, you know, half charging our shots, right? And or quarter or whatever, you know, you're fully charging your shots, right? Instead, make sure we're giving a slight arc the further away we're getting. Then besides that, I think that's pretty much it. A lot better than last time, because I think last time we put that as like number 2.
Yeah,
mechanics is
it's
number 2.
pretty bad.
Right. Now, positioning. Right, we'll move on to positioning. We have good general positioning, but the big thing we're struggling with is 3 different things, right? Is making sure we're keeping within a proper range, so make sure we're not getting too close, make sure we're not getting too far, right? But we're playing on all 3 of the characters that we played, we're sitting around the mid-range, right? You know, we're capable of playing a little bit further away, and we're capable of playing up there, but we're trying to play within mid-range, not too far, not too close, right? Make sure that we are taking off angles and high grounds. All of high grounds act as off angles, so high grounds especially, right? So high grounds are fantastic positioning. And very often, like when they're just an option and in the fight, we just ignore them. Now, you don't want to take a high ground when it's like, for example, all the way over there and the fight's happening over here on point. That's not a good high ground. But if we're taking a high ground when it's like right here, then this is a lot better because we get good angles, we get good, to shoot around shields and get it acts as an off angle. It gives us fantastic survivability where we can stay alive very easily from here, right? So we just take high grounds, look for off angles. So a lot of time we just end up sitting on the main angle with our team, right? Now, we're moving on to awareness here. Awareness being probably like the biggest thing to work on, as it resulted in a whole lot of mistakes. So, paying attention to our HUD is just make sure we're, not holding on to our ult, so we're paying attention to when we have it, right? Whenever we're like 80, 90 to our ult, we're thinking about, how are we using it? And then the more we pay attention to it, the more we'll actually recognize, oh snap, we should probably be using it, right? Because we can think through it. If we're never paying attention to our ult, then that's how we end up holding on to it, right? So if we're not thinking about it. So make sure you're glancing at your ult charge, every now and then. Make sure you're glancing at your health bar, and when we're low, that we're, requesting healing or trying to get health packs. Moving on, watch the kill feed, right? There's a big thing, or these things, because it resulted in a whole lot of mistakes. Make sure you're watching kill feed, right? Just quick reminder, it's 1 to 2, advantage, disadvantage, 2 to 3, won or lost fight. Don't use ults in a won or lost fight. Look to get super aggressive when you've won, and get out if you can if you've lost. And if you can't, look to let them kill you, right? That way you don't end up staggering yourself, as that happened a couple times. Couple too many, right? Then besides that, pay attention to where's the enemy team positioned and where's my team positioned, right? There's a whole bunch of times where like we just didn't notice when like there were enemy team or at least our reaction was slow when we'd have like an enemy teammate or player or whatever like right next to us, and we just wouldn't notice them, right? So we have to pay attention to our surroundings, right? We had so many times where we just wouldn't notice when our whole team was dead, and then we just kind of stay in there way too long, right? And we just didn't notice that the fight was over, right? So you just have to really pay attention to that, right? No walking around and just staring at your crosshair. Don't do slow pans where you're just going like this a little bit. We want to look left, we want to look right, do a 360, look all around you, make sure you're just paying attention to our surroundings. That way we can make better decisions, right? On top of that, I don't think we had any problem with watching for health bars. I do just audio awareness, I think, slightly, because that kind of goes in with paying attention to when people are flanking us. And then the other thing is make sure we're paying attention to team comps, right? So just at the beginning of the game, it's a good idea to always press tab, right, and check, what is our team running, what is the enemy team running. That way we can see, for example, one of the things we talked about was Symmetra, right? When they're on a sim, just expect the TPs, because you did it like 10 times, right? So just the more you're paying attention to that, the better reaction you can have to it, and the means you're going to die a lot less to it, right? So just make sure we're not, letting her get away with that for free. And then
just one question about Bob. When Bob hits an enemy and throws him in the air, does he stop there?
Yes.
Okay.
So if he did this, right, he's gonna go a little bit faster and then he's gonna stop. Yep. So that's why sometimes if it's going to put Bob in a poor position, sometimes it's not even good to hit an enemy. Right?
Okay, I see.
So it's gonna be completely fine if it's near where you want it to go. Like if Bob if Bob's trying to go there and we hit an enemy like right here, then that's fine. He's basically in the same spot and we just got an extra bit of damage in. But if he's like stopping on, if you're hitting like a main tank and he's stopping on the front line here, then they could just back up while shielding, and then he doesn't, and then it doesn't even, and Bob doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, true.
Now, that is pretty much it. So main points, right? Probably say number 1 here we're gonna put at awareness. Number 2 we're gonna put at positioning. Number 3, this is where we're getting into territory where I'm correct. Oh, actually, real quick, Hanzo. We didn't talk about some of that specific stuff. Ability usage, fantastic on Hanzo. Nothing to talk about with ability usage. Does pretty much it for Hanzo. Then ultimate usage, same stuff as Ashe. Is just the timing with it, and then no problem with placement of it. So even less than Ashe, we needed to work on abilities and ult charge, and then mechanics was just make sure we're not half charging it, and then we talked about it before. So actually nothing, literally nothing else to add besides just really good on Hanzo. All right. So with that in mind, across if we're combining both those characters, we're gonna put mechanics at number 3.
Mhm.
And then ults at number 4, and then abilities as number 5. I think that's literally like the same thing as last time, but you know, it's different things as well to go on. We didn't even go over Ashe last time as well, right?
Mhm.
So different, you know, you're better in a lot of different areas, but it's still seeming like those areas are still the things that need to be worked on, right?
Mhm.
So that's just kind of where we're standing right now.
Do you think that I can make it to gold yet, or I still need to improve?
Where were you at right now?
I'm at silver.
Silver. Honestly, like you were doing a lot better, and it seemed like you. How many games out of those did you win? You won like
I
most of them.
yeah, I think I've won most of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
think I'm.
honestly, looking really good. I could very easily see you climbing
Mhm.
like pretty easily so far, but it's hard to tell because when you're playing against, you know, play it like you're not going to see until you hit your plateau, right? Because that's
Yeah.
how it's going to work every time. Is you're going to go here. Why don't we go ahead and get into Q while we're talking about this?
All right, dude.
Also, you don't want. Do you want the recording for this, or is that not even
Oh,
matter
it's
for you?
up to you. Whatever is up, it's up to you actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you usually it's just not big point to recording the to play with me time. So I'm just gonna stop the recording here then.